Snow Lion Repertory Company is presenting their newest show, A Cherry Orchard in Maine.
This is an adaptation of a theatrical classic. With us here on 207 to talk about it, three of the people who are bringing this show to life: actress Laura Houck, writer and producer Margaret Aline, and director Al D'Andrea. Thanks all for coming in. Good to have you here.
Thank you.
This is based on the work, adapted, I guess maybe is a better word, on the work by Anton Chekov, the great play The Cherry Orchard. I gotta say, Margaret, it takes some chutzpah to start tampering with the classics.
Well, we were really fortunate. We went to Columbia Professor Ronald Meyer and said, we'd love to use your definitive literal translation of Chekov to base a new play, Sid in Maine. And he said, absolutely, go ahead and do it. And we found that the adaptation fit Maine so well that we barely had to, honestly, we barely had to change anything.
Don't give us the whole story, but sort of set the scene. How does the play begin?
The play begins with a woman who has abandoned her family 8 years earlier, coming back, returning to the farm, and the farm is going to be auctioned for debt. So the farm is going to be lost, and she comes back to experience, to go through what happens as this event takes place.
And then all the family drama and tensions ensue.
Family drama, neighbors coming in, the people who work at the farm, yeah, and it is, one of his classic comedies, and so it's quite funny, but also very, there's a lot of heart in it.
Laura, there are 12 people on stage. There's 12 characters involved in this. What's the energy like?
It's amazing. It's funny. I haven't done a show in a long time with this many people, and we're all at the process now where we're trying to get to know each other and try to form this play, and it's coming together really well. But it's fun. I mean, it sounds a little dramatic, but it really is a comedy full of quirky characters, and watching the path that everyone takes has been interesting.
Al, all of your shows this season have had this theme of Maine and things that are happening in Maine. How important was that for you to do this season?
Well, Margaret and I moved here 9 years ago, and a year after we moved here, we formed Snow Lion Rep and began producing new plays in Portland. And over the years, we've gotten to know Portland and gotten to know Maine very well. And this is kind of our, I don't know, thank you or tribute to Maine,
Valentine.
Our Valentine to Maine, our season of plays set in and about Maine. And Laura plays a central role, Lily, in this play. It's set in Knox County on one of the few remaining cherry orchards in the state. And the characters translated from Chekov very well. There are Maine analogs to each of the characters. And as our log line for the play says, it fits Maine like a moose in the meadow.
When you were writing it, did it come pretty easily, or were there times where you sort of hit a dead end and said, I don't know quite what to do here, and then eventually you had to work your way out of it?
Well, we had to make some, we originally had some concepts for characters that we had to throw out because they just didn't work. But ultimately, this is not a cliche. This is not, people in LL Bean boots, hiking through the backwoods. These are regular people. There are, there's a millennial character. There is a non-binary character. There is, a gentleman farmer character. There are tenant farmers. There are people who work for these people, a bookkeeper, things like that. So, it's the changing face of Maine is what we were trying to show, which is there's a lot of changes going on, not just in our country, but in this state. A lot of development of land and values being challenged.
So you start with the universal story, universal themes, and just give it a fresh face, bring it into 2018.
Yeah, I think Mainers will really enjoy this take on their home state.
A Cherry Orchard in Maine, presented by Snow Lion Repertory Company. Al, Margaret, Laura, thank you all for coming in. It runs from April 20th to the 29th, and we've got more information about the shows, ticket times, everything else on our website and mobile apps. We'll be right back.